We're going to have Jason Rikard's going to step up here for 10 minutes and speak to you about his experiences here in the last week.
Well, I'm loud enough, so it doesn't matter.
Turn it on.
Use the mic.
Oh, okay. I'll try and be a little quiet. Maybe you can turn it down. So. All right, well, it's been a pretty exciting week, yes? How did everybody do? Did anybody in this room get evacuated? Did anybody leave? Just a few? Well, we got to leave, and we learned some things. And I wanted to share with you guys, we had a meeting at my house last night, and we went over it, and I thought it'd be good to share with everybody here what we did. The one biggest thing that surprised me most of all was my kids. I've got a 21-year-old and I've got a 16-year-old. And honestly, they've got their own lives going on. They've got school, girlfriends, jobs, running around. I try and teach them about prepping, you know, a little bit of ham radio. Just try and keep them well-rounded. It really seems like it was going in one ear and out the other, and they really didn't care. Guess what? Whenever it came down to it, they had learned a lot, and they did really, really well. So I just want everybody to take that home and not give up on your kids, your younger ones, that you think they're not listening. You want to knock them upside the head quite a few times because they just aren't getting it. Well, believe it or not, some of it's sticking. And I was really, really impressed with my boys. They did a really, really good job. So, like I say, don't give up on your kids. Keep pushing them a little bit. Get them a little bit prepared. It's worth its while. Things we learned is we have a pretty good sized group that I run with and train with and do things with. It was very interesting. Whenever we ended up scattering, we had ones that went west, we had ones that went east, we had some that went south. Some of them were 5 hours out after we got settled. Some of them we didn't see again until after the thing was over. What's interesting is having dinner with our actual guy that we use as our tactical coordinator who trains all our gun stuff. We ended up not even seeing each other. We were having dinner together that night, and we didn't end up seeing each other through the whole crisis. Talked very seldom, but didn't even see each other. So what I'm getting at is you never know where you're going to end up or what you're going to end up with. Because I have a pretty tight-knit group, and like I said, we didn't see any of them. We ended up getting together with old groups that we had and kind of coordinating with them and doing stuff with them. So one thing we really learned out of it was don't let your old groups or your old people slip away to where you don't talk to them for a couple of years. Keep in contact with them. It worked out really well for us. Some of the guys that I was working with, I hadn't talked to in at least 2 years. And that worked out really well for us to get food, get other things transported where we needed to get them. And radio communication worked out really well. What I wanted to share tonight was the 3 best things that we had with us when we left the house. And we left pretty loaded down. We knew what we were doing. We took plenty of food, had plenty of water, had our guns, had ammo. We had everything. We were ready to go. We did fairly well. A $28 ham radio, and then the radios that I have in my rigs. Absolutely, bar none, the best item I had. No doubt about it, best item. Used it the most. Within about 6 hours, we had the dam frequency of what was actually going on the dam. So we programmed in that frequency. We could hear exactly what was going on. Absolutely invaluable information. And you're not getting it second, third-hand information. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. Very, very good information. The other thing is the Sutter Beats repeater. Even if you don't have a ham license, you can still at least listen. And there's plenty of guys who will program you in the frequency to listen. And they won't program you in the PL tone or the offset. But if you even just have the information coming in, you know what's going on, you know what roads are blocked. And they did a really fantastic job. Their areas coordinator, Steve Sweetman, goes to church out here, did a fantastic job of getting people coordinated, letting people know what roads were closed. Even if you couldn't talk to him, You knew what was going on. I don't think I talked on that on the actual that repeater once, but I knew a lot what was going on just by listening. So, like I say, the ham radio was invaluable. Next was my sleep system. We bought these. We knew they were a good system, but I'll tell you what, until you have to go to bed at night, you do not know how much you're going to miss your own bed at home. So you want something that is as close to it as you can get. These systems here, they have 3 bags in one. I'll pull it out here in a little bit. Absolute best thing. The first night I slept like a baby until about 3 because I knew I was coming back early in the morning. But it's nice to know whenever you're displaced out of your home, regardless of where you end up, you're going to have a comfortable bed at night. Absolutely invaluable. Because you got to be able to recharge your own batteries. And let me tell you, if you got a good sleep system, number 2 on my list was, I mean, we bought them, we knew we liked them, but honestly, I've slept in it before. Never really thought about it, it slept good. But until that night, whenever I got to bed and we were just drained from running and doing and getting everybody settled, whenever I climbed in that, wow, this is really, really nice. It didn't matter whether I was going to be outside. I had a house to be in, but I mean, it wouldn't have mattered where I was at. I would have got a good night's sleep. And let me tell you, whenever you're displaced and away from your home, it makes a big difference whenever you get a good night's sleep. The third thing was my trusty little flashlight. It goes everywhere with me. It's pretty wore out. But I'll tell you what, being able to see, and most of it happened in the evening. We landed where we were going before dark. But the fact is it got dark really fast afterwards. And being able to, have a bright light that's bright enough where you can shine it and see stuff, we were able to read the addresses on the houses of where we were going. We were able to read maps. We could do whatever we needed to do with it, and it was right there. So, top 3 items is a good sleep system, good ham radio, and a flashlight. The best thing we did afterwards was we had a recap with everybody that was displaced. Everybody that bugged out, that was local in my area. Old teammates, new teammates, the group that I'm running with now. Pretty much everybody, we got together and had a recap at my house last night. It was really interesting on what people found that worked, what didn't work, what they would do again, what they wouldn't do again. If you know people that did leave and bugged out or whatever, or did evacuate, I suggest you get with them and talk to them a little bit about it, because it was very interesting to see what people had going on, and like I say, to figure out what worked and what didn't work. The biggest thing that we came up with before we left was everybody there, we've got a call system now, a text tree. And we're getting it set up. We don't have it complete yet, but we set up a text tree where we have basically 4 people in charge of texting. They've got a group underneath them. So regardless if they get a text from somebody in their group, it goes up the chain and goes across. If they get a text from one of the 4, it goes to those 4, and then they put it down each one of their chains. The reason we did this is I found out really quickly that we had about a 45-minute head start above everybody else. We lucked out. So we threw gear in the trucks for about 15 minutes and left. We beat the wave of cars. We were actually sitting in Grass Valley, or Penn Valley, whenever we started hearing the traffic jam problems. One of our buddies left his house out at Bogue Road, took him 3.5 hours to get to Sutter. So, I mean, it was bad. And there started to be fist fights on the street, people knocking people's mirrors off, trying to get around. It was pretty interesting to see how fast society will collapse. I've trained on this, I've read on this, I've done everything you can imagine under the sun to be prepared for this, and I was amazed at how fast it spiraled down. You're talking 45 minutes, you went from a normal, average road day on a Sunday afternoon to people were ready to fight it out at a gas station over who was next in line. Can you imagine if this would have went on for 3, 4, 5 days? It would have gotten really ugly, really, really fast. So, with that extra 45 minutes that we had, is that we would have had this text tree set up. Nobody in my group would have had to go different routes. we could have actually got out of town a little ways, waited, and all went to the same spot. We always thought that we trained on it so much that first thing is, turn on your radio, we'll all be there. My 4 family members and 2 other family members from a group that I run with was it. It was on the repeater and actually using a repeater that we have dedicated for something like this. That's it. It was really, really disheartening to hear that that's all there was on this thing. Everybody went to a different repeater or was listening to repeaters and doing their own thing, and it worked, but it was very, very far and few between that anybody turned on the radio. It could have went much, much smoother. But we learned from our mistakes. It really wasn't that bad after all, but it could have been really bad. So all I'm saying is, whenever you guys start putting stuff together, I think a call tree is a really good idea if the phones are working. If they're not working, make sure your group really understands that how invaluable these radios are whenever you come up with a system. Another thing we did is we broke it down to where we have different frequencies for different families so we're not bleeding over talking too much. I think what we're going to do as our group kind of merges into this is we're going to start more of an outreach thing and start working with other groups of what we learned on that, because it was really, really interesting to see what we learned and how outfitted we were, but how none of us actually got together. So we're going to try and put something together over the next few weeks and possibly start talking to different groups of what they learned and what we learned. But like I say, folks, use it as a learning experience. It was really good. Whether you evacuated or not, doesn't really matter. Talk to some of these groups and find out who did, and ask them what they did, what they would do different next time. If a relative had to evacuate, find out what their shortcoming was. Because believe me, next time it could be you that ends up having to do this. And it was, for the most part, it was actually pretty exciting. It was a good time for us. But we were prepared more than most, I think. So it could have been bad. But anyways, that's all I wanted to share tonight. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a quick synopsis of what we did and how it went down. Yes?
Do a class at the Patriots store about it.
Okay. I've done classes there before. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I'll give them a shout and see about doing that. So, anyways, that's all I have tonight. I just wanted to share a little bit. And like I say, ham radio, sleep system, flashlight. We've got all the guns and ammo, but guess what? It didn't come down to that. And you want to be comfortable wherever you land. And boy, I'll tell you what, that made all the difference in the world of being able to get up in the morning and run out and do your thing. So I'm going to pull this out. I'll be back. You can talk to me if you'd like. See what we got for a sleep system. We ended up getting them at TJ Norris, but you can get them about anywhere, but I'll show you what to look for. And it makes it much nicer to be home away from home. Thank you, guys.